Hello, in this video we discuss regarding the pharyngeal pouches. As you see in this figure, this is the stomatodium, developing mouth, and this is the buccopharyngeal membrane. This is the primitive pharynx and this is the lateral wall of the primitive pharynx having inner lining known as the endoderm. Outer one layer is the ectoderm and in between these two is the mesoderm. Already told you, in the lateral wall of the primitive pharynx there are the thickenings will appear. Mesodermal thickening will appear. These are the mesodermal thickenings will appear, and because of that there is a formation of pharyngeal arches, pharyngeal cleft and pharyngeal pouches. Mesodermal thickenings, they appear in the lateral wall of the primitive pharynx just caudal to the stomatodium. These are the pharyngeal arches, and due to these thickening there is, as you see here, it's a inner lining membrane. This is the inner lining membrane known as the endoderm. This is the endodermal thickening which occur due to which will goes out pouching in between the arches. Because of these thickenings there is a formation of out pouching of these endodermal linings in between the arches, and there is also inward pouching of the ectodermal thickening because of this mesodermal elevations. So inward pouching of the ectodermal lining between the arches is known as the pharyngeal cleft. They are four in number: one between the first and second arch, second between the second and third arch, third between the third and the fourth arch, and fourth between the fourth and the sixth arch. Like that, there is a endodermal outpouching occur between the two arches and they are known as the pouches. This one is the which is present between the first and the second arch is the first pharyngeal pouch. Between the second arch and the third arch is the second pharyngeal pouch. The pouch which is present between the third arch and the fourth is the third pharyngeal pouch, and the pouch which is present between the fourth and the sixth arch is the fourth pharyngeal pouch. So there are the four pharyngeal pouches present between the arches, and they are numbered from cranial to caudal. They are four in number. So we discuss one by one pouch. The first pouch, the first pharyngeal pouch, which is present between the first and the second pharyngeal arch. What will develop from the first pharyngeal pouch? It will elongate and form a diverticulum. Diverticulum, which is known as tubotympanic recess. So this is the pouch, okay, first pouch, second pouch, third pouch and fourth pouch, and this one is the it will elongate. This will elongate like that, and this is known as tubotympanic recess. And as you see in this diagram, this tubotympanic recess, it's a distal part. This is the cleft, first cleft. This one is the first cleft and this is the first pouch. Okay, endodermal lining between the first arch and the second arch. This is the second arch. Okay, as you see in this diagram, this endodermal outpouching, which is elongates, known as a tubotympanic recess. The distal part of this tubotympanic recess, it becomes expanded. This is expanded. This is the distal part of the tubotympanic recess, while the proximal part of this remains tubular. The distal part, as you see here, it comes in contact with the first pharyngeal cleft. Okay, and both they will together join to form the tympanic membrane. Okay, and the distal part will form the middle ear cavity or mastoid antrum, while the proximal part, which is tubular, will form the auditory tubia, Eustachian tube. So distal expanded part will form middle ear cavity and mastoid antrum. Middle ear cavity is also known as tympanic cavity, while the proximal tubular part will form the Eustachian tube, or also known as auditory tube, which forms a communication between the middle ear cavity and nasopharynx. This Eustachian tube will form a communication between middle ear cavity and the nasopharynx, and this expanded part comes in close contact with the first pharyngeal cleft, and here is the formation of tympanic membrane, the partition between the external ear and middle ear. And this first cleft will develops from this there is a development of external auditory meatus. First pharyngeal cleft will develop the external auditory meatus. Okay. Now we come to the second pharyngeal pouch. As you see in this figure, this is the second pharyngeal pouch. This one is the second pharyngeal pouch present between the second arch and the third pharyngeal arch, and it will contribute in the formation of palatine tonsils. इससे टॉन्सिल्स डेवलप होते हैं. तो सेकंड पाउच से क्या डेवलप होता है? टॉन्सिल्स. फर्स्ट से क्या डेवलप होता है? डिस्टल पार्ट से मिडिल ईयर कैविटी एंड मेस्टोइड एंट्रम, एंड प्रॉक्सिमल पार्ट से यूस्टेकियन ट्यूब एंड ऑडिटरी ट्यूब. नाउ वी कम टू द third pouch, pharyngeal pouch. Third pouch, as you see here, this one is the third pouch. This is the third pouch which is present between the third arch and the fourth pharyngeal arch. As you see here, this pouch becomes expand and differentiate into two things. One is the dorsal, this is the dorsal bulbar part, and one is the ventral tubular part. Okay, the third pouch will differentiate into dorsal bulbar part, and one is ventral tubular part. As you see in this figure, this is the dorsal bulbar part, and this dorsal bulbar part will proliferate to form the parathyroid 3. क्या डेवलप होता है इससे? पैराथायरॉयड 3 will develop from this. Parathyroid 3, also known as inferior parathyroid gland, will develop from the dorsal bulbar part, while the ventral tubular part will contribute in the formation of thymus. तो थर्ड पाउच से क्या डेवलप होता है? पैराथायरॉयड 3 या इंफीरियर पैराथायरॉयड ग्लैंड, It develops from the dorsal bulbar part and ventral tubular part से third pouch का develop होता है thymus. तो thymus will develop from the third pharyngeal pouch and parathyroid 3 या inferior parathyroid gland they will develop from the third pharyngeal pouch. Now we come to the fourth pharyngeal pouch. What happens to the fourth pharyngeal pouch? Same, it will also differentiate into dorsal bulbar part and ventral tubular part. As you can see in this figure, this is the fourth pharyngeal pouch which is present between the fourth arch and the sixth pharyngeal arch. It will differentiate into two parts. This is the dorsal bulbar part and this is the ventral tubular part. Okay, so dorsal bulbar part, it will proliferate and will contribute in the formation of parathyroid 4 or also known as superior parathyroid gland. Okay, while the ventral tubular part will become narrower and it will soon disappear. तो फोर्थ पाउच से क्या डेवलप होता है? पैराथायरॉयड फोर्थ या सुप्रा पैराथायरॉयड ग्लैंड. दिस इज द पैराथायरॉयड 4 या सुप्रा पैराथायरॉयड ग्लैंड विल डेवलप. ओके, if you see in an adult case, this is the posterior aspect of the thyroid gland. Okay, and on the posterior aspect of the thyroid gland, the two parathyroid glands will present. Okay, on either side. Okay, one pair is this one is the parathyroid, this is the superior parathyroid, and this one is the inferior parathyroid. Inferior is also known as third parathyroid and superior is also known as fourth parathyroid. Okay, as you see in this figure, the parathyroid 3 is this. Parathyroid 3 during development, it develops from the third pouch. That's why known as parathyroid 3. But it will migrate because parathyroid 3, it develops from the third pouch and third pouch say also what will form? Thymus gland. So parathyroid 3 gland will migrate along with the thymus into the neck region. It proceeds. So, and it will comes to its definitive position. While the superior parathyroid or parathyroid 4, which will develop from the fourth pharyngeal pouch, it will not migrate and it will remain at a same position. So by the position, the parathyroid 4 becomes the superior parathyroid gland and parathyroid 3, because it migrates lower, that's why it becomes inferior to the superior parathyroid gland in location. That's why known as inferior parathyroid gland. Okay. Now one pouch is also fifth. Someone says there is a fifth pouch is also present. Fifth pouch. It appears for a brief period. बहुत ही small period के लिए appear होती है and soon it will get incorporated with fourth pouch and ultimately contribute in formation of ultimobranchial body or known as caudal pharyngeal complex. which will form the parafollicular C cells in thyroid gland. Okay, so fourth pouch may be present, but it appears for a brief period and immediately it will get incorporate with the fourth pouch. Some says fourth pouch is, its appearance in the human is not known. So this is about the pharyngeal pouches. Again I'll repeat, there are the four pouches. Okay, first pouch से क्या develop होता है? First pouch से develop होता है आपका mastoid antrum and the middle ear cavity, and also the auditory tube. Second pouch will contribute in the formation of tonsils. Third pouch will develops the parathyroid 3 and the thymus. Fourth pouch will contribute in the formation of parathyroid 4 and the and this will also contribute in the formation of ultimobranchial body with the fifth pharyngeal pouch. Okay, ultimobranchial body complex. So this is about pharyngeal pouches. Sometimes it is asked. So these are the endodermal thickenings. Okay, why they form? Because of the mesodermal thickenings, there is a outpouching of the endodermal lining between the two arches. So there are the four pharyngeal pouches: first, second, third, fourth, numbered from cranial to caudal. First pharyngeal pouch will contribute in the formation of mastoid antrum, mastoid and the middle ear cavity and the eustachian tube. Second pouch से क्या develop होता है? Tonsils. Third pouch से क्या develop होता है? Parathyroid third and thymus. Parathyroid third is also known as the inferior parathyroid. Why it is known as the inferior parathyroid? Because this parathyroid third, location wise it is present above, but it will migrate with the thymus in the neck region. That's why at the end, in the adult, it will come to the lower position, so known as the inferior parathyroid. And the fourth pouch will contribute in the formation of superior parathyroid or parathyroid 4. Parathyroid 4 ko, why it is known as the superior parathyroid? While during development it is present below the parathyroid 3, because it will remain in its position, it is constant in its position, so at the end it will be superior in comparison to the parathyroid 3. That's why parathyroid 4 is known as the superior parathyroid and parathyroid 3 is known as the inferior parathyroid gland. That's all.